What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. We've got all kinds of reveals today, including the green cards for Clash of Fates, the Broly and Gogeta cards from the Broly Pack 3, and we've got the new promotional cards for the Colossal Warfare special tournaments as well. So sit back, relax, and let's go over some of these badass cards together. Up first for the new Broly Pack 3, we have Vegeta, Defective Fighter. He's a 5 cost, 10,000 power. The art is just amazing on this card. He has Union Fusion for 3. You fuse a red Son Goku BR and a red Vegeta BR. He has Blocker, he has Barrier, and his auto says when this card is KO'd, if your leader card is a blue Gogeta Battle BR card, choose up to one red Son Goku BR card and one red Vegeta BR card from your drop area, add them to your hand. If you added 2 cards to your hand, add 2 cards from the top of your deck to your energy. Whoa. Whoa. If he's KO'd and your leader is a blue Gogeta BR, so it has to be the new Gogeta. You can't use it with either of the other 2 Gogetas. You get to add 2 from your drop area, the 2 you fused with, back to your hand, and then you get 2 extra energy. That's insane, but that's going to make Gogeta a very big target for Mass Saiyan, for Dende, for World Martial Arts Tournament Piccolo. Gogeta better be careful with that shit. Then we have Gogeta, the Comeback King. He's an 8 cost, 25,000. That's a ridiculous cost for this card. The art is amazing, though. I'm actually glad they stuck with regular form instead of Super Saiyan. It just looks really cool on the fusions for some reason. He's got Union 7 with a red and red Son Goku and red Vegeta. He's got Blocker and Barrier as well. And when you play this card with Union, add 3 cards from the top of your deck to your energy. Holy shit. But so obviously this deck is a ramp deck, but getting up to that much energy so quickly is going to be crazy since the whole deck is red. Also, you could ramp up with this and then drop the triple strike, triple attacker, secret rare, ultimate force Vegito. That would be crazy to use all of this just to get up to him. That would be pretty funny to have all the fusions blue and the entire rest of the deck red. This card seems pretty crazy, but he doesn't do much else besides be a big-ass blocker. So what else is he going to do? What else is there going to be in the Broly Pack 2 that we're going to see that's going to make you need that much energy? Then we have Broly Demonic Intimidation. He's a 7 cost, 30,000 power with EX Evolve for 2 yellow and a Broly BR of 4. If the total number of cards in rest mode between you and your opponent is 6 or more, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. The total... Wow, so you could play him by turn 3. That's... Ew. When you play this card, you can only activate skills on cards that are green or yellow and no other color for the duration of the turn. That's not really that big of a deal. Once per turn, choose 1 card from your hand, place it in your drop area. Choose one of your opponent's cards in rest mode, and that card can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. Equally gross. But the fact you can play him so easily, so soon, is crazy. Now, are you going to choose to run this Broly card over the starter deck 7 drop or the set 6 drop? That's going to... that's yet to be seen. That's going to be determined by your play style, of course. Now, this is an EX Evolve, so you can easily play this on top of one of those other Broly. And 2 yellow, that's not really a big deal, but it has to be an energy cost of 4, so you can't play this on top of the 6 or 7 drop. So you have to choose which one of these you want to go into. And then we have Broly Paralyzing Presence. He's a 4 cost, 15,000. If the total number of cards in rest mode between you and your opponent is 3 or more, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Again, wild. You can play him as early as turn 2. Once per turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and that card can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this version of Broly can only target battle cards, whereas the 7 drop can target any of your opponent's cards. Energy, whatever. Even the leader, which would be kind of gross. So those are going to be the 4 cards for the Broly Pack Set 3. I think the Broly Pack Set 2 is heavily going to determine whether or not these cards would be preferable over the cards that we've already seen or the ones in Set 6. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. Then for Theme Booster 3, Clash of Fates, we have the new green cards, and the art on this Goku does not disappoint at all. He is easily going to be one of the coolest cards to play. He's got Burst 2. When this card attacks, you may choose one green card in your hand and place it in your drop area. If you do, draw 2 cards. When your life is 4 or less, you may choose 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode. On the Awakened side, we have Son Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan. He's got Sparking 5. When this card attacks, draw 1 card, and if a Krillin card is in your drop area, this card gets plus 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. Super cool. Goes along with the flavor. However, it's a green Goku leader. You know what that means. Defeat! Means you can play the Feat Kamehameha card along with him, and he's going to be 35,000 double strike crit. That's just gross. I cannot wait to have some fun with this leader. Then, probably one of the other ridiculous cards in this set is Hyperspeed Son Goku. He's a 3-cost, 15,000. Says when you play this card, you may choose up to 2 cards from your life and add them to your hand. If you chose to add 1 or more cards to your hand, this card gets plus 15,000 power and critical for the duration of the turn. So he's a 30,000 crit. So unless you're preventing him from hitting the field, or you plan on negating or blocking the hell out of this, you're probably going to lose that card. Because is it worth comboing that much just to protect that 1 card? It's really going to all depend on what you have. But that's insane for a 3-drop. And he can easily allow you to awaken. Great card for green decks in general. Then we have Fledgling Duo Son Gohan. He's a 2-cost, 5,000 power with barrier, and you reduce the energy cost of Krillin cards in your hand by 1. Not super great, considering he's only 5k. He can't really even attack anything. I think he should have been a 1-cost. Just because he is that useless, but he will go along with all of the Krillin cards that you can run. We've got Vegeta Fully Recovered. He's a 4-cost, 20,000. When you play this card from a drop area, he gains dual attack for the duration of the turn. And when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. So if you bring him back from the drop area, he gets to attack twice, which means you get to KO 2 of your opponent's battle cards. Not bad, especially if you can get this card out relatively early. Then we've got one of my favorites, not just for the ability, but for the art as well. It's Tactical Victory Vegeta. He's a 2-cost, 15,000 power. When you play this card, choose up to 1 field card in your opponent's battle area and place it in its owner's drop area. So, we finally have a card that's an answer to field cards. Granted, it's green, but we have it nonetheless. Now, field cards aren't super overwhelming in the game. Broly's Ring is kind of one that is more detrimental. Planet Vegeta. But stuff like, you know, Planet M2 or Planet Namek, they don't really hurt the opponent very much. Sure, M2 can get rid of, like, you know, 5k battle cards, but it's really not that big of a deal. Not enough to force yourself to run green to play Tactical Victory if you're not running a green deck. Then we have Ever Dependable Bulma. She's a 2-cost, 12,000. She's our super combo for green for this set. When you combo with this card, if your leader card is a Shenron card or a Green Saiyan card and your life is at 5 or less, draw 1 card against plus 10,000 power. Honestly, not that great. Especially with the sparking stuff we have now. And considering that this archetype, green in particular for this set, you know, wants you to bring stuff back from the drop area. Honestly, I feel like this super combo is not even worth playing. You're just going to play these sparking GT Vegeta over this easily. Unless you really want to run Overrealm, but I don't see the point. Then we've got Persistent Assault Krillin. He's a 4-cost, 15,000 with barrier. And when you play this card, draw 1 card. If your leader card is green or black, and this card is in rest mode, your opponent's cards can't attack leader cards. So he's basically a Krillin that's a deadly defender. And you get to draw a card. I mean, it's okay. You've got the Gohan that reduces Krillins by 1. And now, granted, the upside to him over running like Android 18, for example, would be that, you know, once he's KO'd, then he triggers your leader's ability. But past that, I mean, it's not really a whole lot of difference than the Deadly Defenders. Then we got Fledgling Duo Krillin. He's a 4-cost 15,000 blocker. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So he's essentially a weaker version of the Ultimate Box Limitless Energy Android 17. He's got 5,000 less power and he doesn't have barrier, but he serves the same purpose. And I guess because of that Gohan, you can reduce the energy cost. Now, you could stack those Gohans as well, I believe, and then just start playing him for like 1 energy or 2 energy, you know, depending on how many Gohans you have. So it could be a pretty interesting tactic to flood the board with Gohans and then start playing Krillin. Now, I believe you'd still have to pay the specified energy cost. So, but the potential to get this out and start KOing stuff for 1 energy and then having blockers and, you know, King Vegeta surprise attacks, I think that card is ridiculously insane and just seems to keep getting better with green as the game goes on. Then we've got our useless vanilla for the color. It's a 1-cost 10,000 Dende that looks, you know, easily too scared. I don't know if this is right before Frieza kills him or one of the other times right before he dies. Then we've got that Cheetah, the beautiful. That's the, what did they call it? Whatever the special rare, not actually SPR rare, but whatever that is. She's a 2-cost 15,000. When one of your opponent's battle cards is KO'd, your opponent chooses 1 card in the hand, places it in the drop area. So that goes along well with the with cards like the Vegeta or the Krillin that are just going to try and completely wipe your opponent's board out. I like it. And since she's Frieza's army, you could get her out with Frieza's Call, and she's a 2-cost. So she's actually a 15,000 2-cost that you could get out with Frieza's Call, which is pretty crazy. I definitely see her being more viable in a Frieza deck than I do seeing her being able to be played with the rest of this green support. Then we've got a new wish for green. It's Plea for Salvation. It's a 4-cost. It says if your leader card is a Shenron card, choose 1 green battle card in your drop area with energy cost less than or equal to your current energy and play it. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. So, essentially, it's like World Peace, except there's that little added bonus of being able to KO a 2-cost. I don't really know that I think this is worth it. Granted, green got the shittiest of Shenron cards by far, but do I feel like this is better than World Peace? No. Does it really seem like it makes a difference? Also, no. So, if you're playing a Shenron card and you're running green battle cards, obviously this would be the better option for that added bonus, but the added bonus doesn't seem to really have much of an impact. Then we've got a new field card for green, Frieza Army Healing Pod. Once per turn, when you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw 1 card, and activate main for 2 green and 2 other. Place this card in its owner's drop area, choose up to 1 battle card with energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area and play it. It's kind of, I don't want to call it contradictive, it's ironic in a way. When you play a card from your drop area, you can draw a card, but its ability allows you to do so by sending it to the drop area. Therefore, it won't be present to trigger when it is, you know, when that battle card is played, so you won't get the draw effect. It is a rare, which is nice. I think, well, because it's a theme set, so of course the leaders aren't going to be the rare cards. But I don't know, this card will be interesting to see how well it works out. I can definitely think of one place I would play this, but it's definitely not with the new support that we're getting in this set. Then we have probably one of the best cards to come to green. It's Preemptive Strike. It's a counterplay. If your leader card is green and the battle card your opponent is playing has an energy cost of 4 or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played. That is insane. That completely changes so many ways this game can be played. And again, I have the perfect deck to play this in. It is just, it's ridiculous. This card is going to be so fucking good. for green, and I think honestly green is just going to continue to stay on the top of everybody's mind, just because we keep getting stuff like this that all it cares about is your leader being green, which unfortunately right now that means, you know, androids, because no other green leader in R-Type really seems to stand out. Hopefully that'll change, especially with this Goku, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Then lastly, we've got the promos in the Cross Worlds event tournaments that they'll be doing. The first one is Super Baby 1 Parasitic Menace. It's still not the Baby Vegeta form that everybody's been asking for, but I suppose it's close enough. It's a 5 cost 25,000 with EX Evolve on a red baby with an energy cost of 4. So you don't even have to play any energy to play this card, so you can get it out as early as turn 2 or even turn 1. If you played it correctly with Double Strike. When this card evolves into this card, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, and you can't play another Super Baby 1 for the duration of the turn. Activate main is for 1 red energy. Choose 1 baby card with an energy cost of 6 from your hand and play it on top of this card. That is actually ridiculously gross. And as I said in the previous video, this card is easily so good for baby decks. I know that you still can't get around barrier with baby, and that's going to be what hurts baby the most, but I think that baby has a place. I think that baby seriously can have a place in the meta if played properly. Especially because I think as long as you can outthink your opponent and you can keep your resources where you need them to be, you should be able to do a good bit with this leader. Or a good bit with this archetype. Is it going to be tier 1 meta? Probably not. Not until they find a way around barrier. But I do still think that baby is a much better archetype than people give it credit for. Then we've got Hirudegarn, Premonition of Evil. He's a 7 cost, 20,000 power blocker. Says if you have 1 or more copies of both Tapion and Menace cards in your drop area and a Phantom Demon card isn't in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. This card gets minus 10,000 power during your turn. So during your turn, he can only attack for 10,000. But you're not going to want to tag with him anyways because he's just there to be a big-ass blocker, and he can be a free big-ass blocker. So it's nice. Thank Ra, this card doesn't have barrier, so you can get around him with board control, but still a nice card for the actual Hirudegarn archetype, which I don't think anybody has actually tried to play because they're all about the retarded storm shit. Then we've got Piccolo, Cunning Strategist. He's a 3 cost, 15,000 power with Auto Burst 3. When you play this card from your hand, choose up to 1 Namekian or Universe 7 card from your hand with an original energy cost of 4 or less, negate its skills for the duration of the turn, and play it. I mean, depending on what card you play, and depending on the game state, this could help you get that final push to be able to attack for game, or give you major setup for the following turn. Since it negates the effects, you can't really do a whole lot as far as attacking besides 1 additional damage, but as long as you keep that card alive, it can stay there long enough to be able to help you set up a little quicker, especially since it lets you play a 4 cost for only 3 energy. So that's not bad at all. I definitely like this Piccolo, and I look forward to using him, and that art is just super dope too. Plus, he's Namekian and God and Universe 7, so you can search him out so many different ways. Then we've got Son Goku, Path to Greatness. He's a 3 cost, 19,000. With Barrier, he's also Goku's Lineage and Universe 7. He's a Sparking 7, Swap 8. For 4 yellow energy, you can swap him with a Goku's Lineage with an energy cost of 8. Absolutely wild since he's a 3 cost. You can do this ridiculously early as turn 4 to get that 8 cost out, and whoo boy. I really think that Goku's Lineage could have a shot at being something great with this card. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and draw a card. Also allowing you to get a free KO. And then he has Barrier on top of that. It's just, this card was set up to make Goku's Lineage better, and I, as a fan of the archetype, am extremely grateful for it. Then we have Encroaching Darkness Demigra. He's a 4 cost, 10,000 power, Overwhelm 4. his permanent says all Demigra cards in your hand with energy cost of 7 gain Xeno Evolve for 3 green. But you overwhelm him, so you'd have to overwhelm him and then immediately EX Evolve to make him worthwhile. And when you play this card, you can't play non-black battle cards for the duration of the turn. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards with an original power of 1,000 or less until the end of their next turn. So he's kind of like a little bit of a storm control as well. Since he's overwhelmed 4, you could easily side him into your side deck to be able to overwhelm him out. But I mean, you can also just play the 1-cost BCC Goku that more or less does the same thing. So I don't really think he's much of a help against Storm comparatively, but he does give Demigra that extra edge. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button down below for us. Let us know in the comments what you guys are excited for. Personally, I think the green for this set is going to be phenomenally awesome, just for the flavor alone. But I think it actually has a place in the competitive environment, or at least I'm hoping it will anyways. The Broly stuff will be interesting to see what we can do with it with Broly Set 2. And then with the new Colossal Warfare special event tournament cards, those are going to make a pretty good impact, or at least I'm hoping they will, on some of the older neglected archetypes such as Baby and Goku's lineage. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the frick out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.